Your pitching staff and starters at a 2.20 ERA in their starts this past week, and just your thoughts on them going on from this past weekend and then moving forward.
I mean, they pitched well this last weekend. It was good to see. They're making strides in the right direction, and hopefully they can keep doing that against a really good Arizona team.
You guys scored 63 runs this past weekend with that lineup change in that seventh spot where Cromwell and Benatonsi play catcher. Just what did you see from them, especially coming after the Washington State series? Just what did you see from them overall?
First and foremost, the improvement in the leadership in the catching department. I didn't feel like, especially early on, maybe versus like a UCLA, I felt like our catching position got exposed by the Perry kid at UCLA, who I think he caught like exceptionally well. And he put on a show while he was in town. And I think our catchers saw that, weren't really excited about how they matched up that weekend. And, neither were the coaching staff, and so we worked our tails off with our catchers to try to get those guys playing up to their level of ability. And I think now here recently they clearly have, which has been great. It's helped our team immensely.
What are some of the specifics that you guys did with the catching group to try to get them to? Is it more like a framing or getting down and blocking balls? What specifically you guys do?
It's pretty comprehensive. I mean, Coach Marter works with the catchers, and so he handles that aspect of it. We do a lot of things with him. It was a complete thing. It wasn't just one thing or the next. I didn't think they were throwing at their level or receiving at their level, or probably even if you ask the kids, they probably didn't think they were hitting at the level that they needed to. And then they really did work hard and they turned it around. And I thought they caught exceptionally well last weekend.
Do you feel like you were celebrating a record or an award for Tanner like every 5 seconds this weekend?
It was pretty fun to be a part of that. Yeah, Tanner's a great kid and had a tremendous weekend on a big weekend for him going into it, where I think he was like a hit. I think he was tied with a record going into a weekend, and then he ended up breaking multiple records on the weekend, which was just so much fun for Tanner and the team, and we got to celebrate with him. It was really neat.
Tanner has 14 hits in his last 6 games. Just how much does that broaden the lineup with him hitting fifth and getting guys at the top like Colby Shade, who's been excellent to the start this season?
Yeah, I'd love to have several guys with 14 hits a weekend. That would be something else. That's one of the best weekends I can recall of any hitter. It was disappointing that the Pac-12 chose not to give him the award for the player of the week this week. And I understand we were out of league and there was another player that had a tremendous week. And so I don't fault the player who received the award. He had a heck of a week too. And I watched him on video. He was a force, but Tanner had an exceptional week. Love to have seen him earn any honor that he could have, just because he was so good last week. And it was a special week for him personally.
Going back to the pitching staff, Malaris, only throws 1 inning this past weekend because he doesn't really need to get in there, but no earned runs allowed this entire year, just a handful of walks, 18 Ks and 11 innings pitched. Just what have you seen from him, and how nice is it to have a guy like that at the back of the bullpen?
Well, he's pretty fresh right now. Hopefully we won't have to, strain him or anything like that in the coming days. He can just do what he's done and been very successful at. He's just really good, and to get him as a graduate transfer to come in was really lucky that he avoided the draft. Somehow he slipped through the draft. I still don't know how that happened. He's got such a good arm and he throws the ball over the plate. He's everything that a pro club, I think, would be looking for.
With Logan Mercado moving back to the back to the rotation, mm-hmm. Just what did you see from him? I think he threw 109 pitches in his 6 innings. Is that, is his arm stretched out to go a little bit longer, or is that about where you want to keep him?
No, I don't. I mean, I thought it was a tremendous outing that he had, and it was right where we wanted to get him to. I don't think, stretching a guy out, it's about effectiveness for us, and if a guy's ineffective at 50 pitches, then why get him to 60? But if he's effective at 90, then yeah, let's get him to 100, 105 or whatever. But it's about effectiveness and just using your eyeballs and seeing if he's getting them out and if the ball's coming out of his hand. And a lot of those innings, a lot of times with the pitch count, it doesn't equate how much stress they really had in an inning or during their outings. So, for example, a 70-pitch outing might be a really stressful 70-pitch outing and may feel to the kid more like a 100 or 110-pitch outing, where sometimes a 100 pitch outing can feel like it's only about 60 or 70 just because it's a little bit easier on the arm and it's low stress.
Looking forward to this weekend. You were obviously a longtime assistant at Arizona, long time under Andy Lopez. You've talked about how much you guys have a great relationship together. Just Does this weekend mean just a little bit more that you guys are going against Arizona, or is it more of like a recollection? You look back on the memories there.
Oh, I don't know. My time at Arizona was years ago, and it's exclusive of what's going on now. And I love Coach Lopez. He's a heck of a man and one heck of a baseball coach, and it'll be nice to see him and Linda and his family.
You guys, I mean, Arizona is, I wrote it down, whatever, 14-9. I guess swept by ASU last week and went over Grand Canyon yesterday. Just what have you seen from them overall when you watch tape and when you go through the stats?
All close games. Even last night's game, I think, went into extra innings and they won it on a walk-off. They got a single and a double there in the 10th inning down the left field line to be able to score a guy from first to win the game. To be able to score in the ninth was a big deal because they were chasing Grand Canyon by a run in the ninth, and be able to do that, tie the game, come back. I'm sure they've got really good positive energy and stuff like that coming off a walk-off win. Their games against Arizona State were extremely competitive. And probably could have gone either way on several of those games. We've watched all of them on tape, and they've got a good team. They're going to be some, their first guy that gets rolled out there, the Nichols kid's got a tremendous arm. He's been up to 99 miles an hour this year, and there'll be a ton of scouts in watching him as they should. Great kid too. The Zastro kid, left-handed guy that really has a great arm and a very, very good slider. Can be effective on left and right-handed hitters. And I don't think they've figured out who they're going with game 3 yet, although they've got plenty of options with guys with great arms. So it'll be a competitive series.
Have you guys figured out who you're going with for the rotation?
I'd have to check with Coach Angier and see what he's got.
Of course. Arizona as a team, they hit 298. They've got a lot of lineup depth. Even their guys off the bench who started a couple games are hitting over 300. Just how important is it for your pitching staff to get off to another good start like they did this past weekend against Northwestern State?
Yeah, I think it's really important each weekend. It doesn't matter really who you're playing. I don't think we saw Chase Davis last weekend. He's pretty good hitter, and so to have him in the lineup this weekend for the Wildcats is going to be a guy that arguably is the best hitter in the league, or he'll be one of them for sure. Very good power hitter, and he's hitting the ball to all fields now. He hit 2 home runs last night, and so the guy's going pretty good. They've got some depth in their lineup too with a bunch of older guys, so we just need to attack. First pitch strikes and the principles of pitching 2 out of the first 3, and having a competitive demeanor and all those kind of things, I think are going to be critical this weekend and moving forward.
On the flip side of this is that Arizona's staff overall is okay. Opponents are hitting 280 off of them. You guys have obviously gone into this really great offensive rhythm right now. Just how much confidence do you have in your offense to go into this series and make every game competitive, at least from scoring runs perspective?
Well, we'd like to clearly make every game competitive at the worst. I mean, we're not going there to participate. We don't have those kind of trophies around here. We're going to win, and we can't wait to get down there and play against a very good Arizona team. For us, it's just about basically sticking with what we do well. And when we've done that, we've been able to beat anybody. And then when we haven't done that, we've been able to lose to pretty much anybody as well. So it really is about us and what we do in our locker room. Kind of a cliche, but it's true.
Just some personnel questions. Carter Garati, how's he doing?
Seems to be playing really well. Hit a home run in his last at bat before we took him out and gave him a little rest. And since he got put in at shortstop, I think the team's played very, very well, and that's an indicator how good of a leader he is and a defender and just a player. He's one heck of a freshman talent. And there's several other freshmen that are starting to really do some fun things for us too, which is fun for our future.
I guess. Well, do you think Garati will play this weekend? I know he missed the last game. You said he was day to day. Yeah.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
One last thing about Isaac Aon. Just how is his progression going on through his injury, and is he back up and throwing yet, or is he still got a couple more weeks to go?
He's back up and throwing, and so he's day to day. As soon as he's ready to pitch in games, we want him pitching for us. He's that good, and he's a competitor. He's chomping at the bit, and he's been, with everything he's doing, I know he's excited to get back with the ball club. We can't wait to have him back.
Is there any ETA on when he could potentially be back, or is that you don't want to set one?
I don't think it'll be this weekend, but I could see it happening, very soon.